All right, folks, let's talk about the pain needed to avoid the ultimate pain of bankruptcy. By the way, the word bankruptcy, it comes from the Italian word bancarrota, which means broken bench. During the recession, money dealers worked from benches or tables, and, well, if they ran out of money, their bench or table was actually broken in half, meaning, hey, they're out of business. So this was actually considered civilized because ancient Greece were indebted men were unable to pay their bills. The wives, their families, they were put into debt slavery until the debt was worked off. You know, in the past week, there have been 3 high-profile bankruptcies that I think everyone should be aware of, and for a variety of reasons. First, I'll start with Nikola, right? Nikola, everyone remembers it. The media was excited about this thing. Now they're being pretty kind. If you look at the headlines, it suggests like, okay, the company went bankrupt because of the turmoil in the EV market. But let's not forget, you know, Wall Street Journal reminds us that this was once a darling of the green investment movement. It was, of course, until the company admitted that a prototype they used to sort of hype the truck and raise a lot of money, that they actually rolled it down the hill. No, it didn't. It wasn't powered by the engine. They just put it in neutral and pushed it. By the way, the stock got a $30 billion market cap after that. Then there's the Container Store, which was the ultimate progressive experiment in business. The company came out guns blazing against the whole shareholder culture of Wall Street and business. They actually called that yucky. Instead, Kip Tindall, He defied Milton Friedman and everyone else. He said he's going to have a company that puts the focus on the employee first. And I will say, I told everyone from the very beginning, I talked about this, I said the company is doomed, but I will admit, it lasted longer than I thought it was. And there is something to be said about a company that's voted the best place to work 17 years in a row. But the business is business, and sometimes, you know what, business is yucky. And then there's Forever 21. Du Wong Chang and his wife, June Suk, they came to Los Angeles from Korea. They were both 27 years old, and they were really unable to find any clothes right from back home. So they said, you know what, why not open up our own store? Plus, they kind of looked around L.A. and said everybody who had money in that town were in the fashion industry. So guess what? They opened Fashion 21. That was in 1984. Fast forward to 2015, and it's Forever 21, 600 stores, 40 countries. But their ambition, they couldn't satisfy their ambition. They wanted more, and they wanted bigger stores and bigger stores. It's an age-old story when it comes to fashion, right? First of all, we know tastes go in and out. That's always going to change. But their mountain of debt, it didn't go away. By the way, I do love that they were so passionate about their faith that John 3:16 was stamped on all of their shopping bags. But they didn't need divine intervention. The company just simply moved too slow to fix their problem. Which brings me to painful solutions and chainsaws. Yes, the tool. The tool constructed like a motorized barracuda, right? Associated normally with bad things outside of cutting down trees. But in business, you must occasionally clean house to survive. By the way, no one did that better than the late, great Jack Welch, who made GE the most valuable company in the world. Well, now Elon Musk is taking a chainsaw to the federal government, and he's trying to enrich, which, by the way, is only enriching a few people at the expense of the masses.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
All right. Hey, listen, I got a very special guest joining me right now on set, forensic accountant and former CFO of Crazy Eddie, Sam Antar. Sam, welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you for having me on, Charles.
So, you know, as you can see in the intro, I tried to put it all together, right? Business and personal lives and everything else. You can get too big, you can get desperate, you can do desperate things. Our country has too much debt, right? You were involved in a company, Crazy Eddie, that was doing fantastic. The commercials were wonderful, but the company did some bad things, and you were sort of help orchestrate that.
Yes, I faked the numbers, and as a result of that, it collapsed.
Right. So let's talk about that for a moment, because you're a numbers guy. Yes. You see these numbers. I mean, right now on Doge, you've got this great page that's growing big time, right, with New York City Corruption Squad. What do you make of what Elon Musk is doing? He's going in there, and it's not just about accounting errors, right? This is some legitimate fraud and some legitimate theft.
Correct. There are two aspects of it. This is called fraud and waste. Let's talk about fraud first. Successive presidents, all the way back from Ronald Reagan's time, when I was a criminal in the 1980s, right? White-collar prosecutions have gone down under successive presidential administrations. Basically, up until now, the federal government has abdicated the war on white-collar crime. In fact, there were more prosecutions when I was doing crime when the economy was like 70% lower than there is today. So it's about time somebody is paying attention to crime that's done with pencil and paper or with keyboards and with accounting.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
Right.
Also, of course, you got the element of waste. Now, if as a criminal, I will tell you that if nobody's looking, I'm going to do. I did my crimes just because I could. Okay? If nobody's watching the government's money, it's going to happen.
Right.
Excuse the language.
So no problem, but you're absolutely right, and particularly but to me it feels even more egregious because these elected officials do a lot of finger pointing, right? Oh, and these people are bad, we're good. Put me in office and I'll do good things. And then they set up these organizations ostensibly to help the poor, the downtrodden, the underdeveloped nations. And they put themselves squarely in the middle, Sam, and they've been stealing all this money. The numbers are blowing my mind. $2 billion here, $1 billion there.
The nonprofit industrial complex. We have the same problem right here in New York City. If you want to look at a microcosm, we have nonprofits that are getting government funding, and they in turn, they promote their favorite candidates, right? And they attack candidates who they don't like. And we're paying for this with our taxpayer money.
Right. So what do you make then of all the outrage, right? When you hear someone who's against what Elon Musk is doing, does that make your radar, does that sing your radar off?
Yes, absolutely. People have to be monitored. Government agencies have to be monitored. Spending has to be monitored. It's about time somebody's taking a close look. Now, Elon Musk is not going to bat 1,000. He's going to make some mistakes along the way. We all do. But on the whole, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to look for fraud, and he's also looking for wasteful spending. Who could be against that? You know, there's a concept of the loyal opposition in America, right? The Democrats should be a loyal opposition, not an obstructive opposition that's trying to put themselves in the way of government accountability.
So should anyone, if it gets to this point, should people go to jail? I mean, is that the ultimate example that we need to see?
Yes, people should go to jail if crimes were committed, yes.
Sam, I really appreciate you. I'm going to fist bump you. I will give you a handshake, but last time I shook your hand, I was missing my watch. So I appreciate you, though.
God bless
Good
you.
stuff,
Have a
you
good
too.
day. Thank you.